because I love every single one of you who are watching, I redid this stream all over again because there was an annoying buzz in the audio, and I just can't let you guys suffer through that because I love you so much. You can tell, look at my face. So why so serious? Let's get into the Israeli-Iran conflict / war, whatever you want to call it. Trump doubles down on the unconditional surrender. Right now, as we speak, Israel is hitting nuclear reactors within Iran. Specifically, they're hitting two. One, a decommissioned heavy water nuclear reactor. Another nuclear reactor is also being hit. Hopefully, neither one of them will go critical. The one that's decommissioned probably won't. The one that is currently on, in operation, hopefully won't. Iran has repeatedly requested to meet with American representatives, specifically Trump. Trump has given them the cold shoulder. They're not used to dealing with Trump. When somebody, a man, tells you, look, this is where it is, this is how we're going to operate, and I'm giving you 24 hours, 60 days to get your S in gear and get over here and sign this or come to the negotiating table, he means it. Everybody's forgotten how Trump operates. Trump means what he says. We're going to get into that specifically. Trump reiterated that he wants a real end to the conflict, not a ceasefire. A real end. And what is the conflict? The conflict is over nuclear armament by Iran. Why is nuclear armament by Iran so critical? Iran doesn't have a nuclear warhead. No, they don't. But you don't want them getting one, because what will they do with it? Why is everybody that's screaming, oh, Iran doesn't have a nuclear warhead, it's no big deal? Look, I don't want American boots on the ground at all, but Iran does have proxies. They've come out and openly stated that, yeah, their proxies will attack U.S. interests and U.S. bases throughout the world if the U.S. gets directly involved. That's them openly admitting that the Houthis, Hamas, and so on are propped up by them. What do you think they're going to do once they get a nuclear warhead? They're going to give it to one of their proxies and say, hey, go use it, man. Have fun. Because they've now got plausible deniability. That's the whole goal. They're not going to directly use it. They're going to give it to somebody who they know will use it. Why is this so hard to figure out? Trump has approved attack plans on Iran, but is holding off to see if Iran will willingly abandon its nuclear program. Again, they're not going to abandon it. Hence, regime change is on the menu. That's the goal. Regime change. To that point, only 16% of Americans, 19% of Trump voters want U.S. to join Israel's war on Iran. We're not going to join. Trump knows where his base is at. He knows the majority of Americans on all sides of the aisle do not want this war. But Trump is a negotiator. He's going to use every single weapon in his arsenal. He's going to use every single club in his bag to whack Iran over the head to get them to do what he wants. He will go all the way up into bombing them, but not put troops on the ground. I do not believe Trump will put American lives at risk for the sake of Israel. Is he helping Israel? Yes. But there's another modus operandi over there, and that is you don't want the Iranian Guard to have a nuclear weapon that they will give to a terrorist organization, one of their proxies, to legitimately use against the U.S. or any other Western ally. That's the whole point. You don't want terrorists owning nuclear weapons. What? Do you think that they're just going to stockpile them like China's doing? No. They're literally going to give the fissile material to make a dirty bomb to their proxies, or, heaven forbid, an actual nuclear warhead to them to go set off somewhere. We're going to have legit True Lies up in here in Miami. Let's not go down that route. For those that got that reference, good on you. To this point, even his base, 19% of people who voted for Trump are not. Trump sees this, guys. He's not stupid. He's going to put on this mask. He's going to do this dog and pony show. We're not going to have boots on the ground. And why do we know this? The majority of Americans don't want it, and he is a populist. As much as the left tries to scream that he's a fascist dictator, Trump is a Democrat. Trump is a leftist center guy. He's not radical. He's not a conservative. He has no commitment to U.S. military action yet. I like to make the final decision 1 second before it's due. I mean, especially with war, things change. With war, it can go from one extreme to the other. Trump also predicted that the Iranian regime could fall, but said he has plans for when that comes next. That's what he's waiting on, guys. He's waiting on Israel to beat Iran into an absolute pulp. Israel has just now, this morning, I guess Israel's night, come out and stated that, yeah, it's time for them to take out the Ayatollah. Again, there were rumors and anonymous sources, this time it looks like pretty true, where it came out under U.S. intelligence, stated that Israel wanted to knock out the Ayatollah, but Trump said no. Again, hoping Trump continues to push, don't take out the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah is a spiritual leader. Yeah, he's kind of running the country to some degree, but you take him out, you could galvanize the country against us. It's better to let him rot away in a hole somewhere and let the country fall. Let a new leader spring up, probably one that the CIA is going to prop up, but at least that leader will not allow a nuclear armament to come. But again, you're just basically sowing more discord and mistrust and anger against America in the West. We are going to reap the whirlwind from this one day. We've been doing it for decades, unfortunately. Trump said the opportunity for a fair deal has passed, making negotiations more challenging now. Now they wish they did it. They want to meet, but it's too late to meet. And they want to come to the White House. I think he goes on to say, but it's going to be real hard for them to get to the White House, basically rubbing it, salt in the wound. Trump said on June 18th that he believes Iran has a few weeks away from developing a nuclear weapon. They did. According to the IAEA, they had enough fissile material to make approximately 6 weapons. Israel said no, they could make 9, whatever. They could make several weapons. And again, the point is that Iran's not the type to build up a stockpile. They're the type to give it to a proxy of theirs and use. It's not the mad countries, Russia and China, that are building up their arsenals to hold on to for the end of the world. No, mutually assured destruction. I mean, we've shown for the last, 80 years now, it works horribly. But the point is that when you have somebody who wants to use it, that's the scary part. I was going to make another reference, but leave it alone. And I think more people are coming to this conclusion. I myself was alarmed when this initially came out, was like, oh man, what is he doing? He's getting ready to go into Iran. He's not. And Tucker Carlson made several different claims, threw up, and Trump loves Tucker Carlson. Carlson loves Trump. They seem like real good buddies. When Trump saw this, it probably hurt him. Hence, he's like, oh, Trump, Tucker's being all kooky. No, Tucker's alarmed given that it looks like we're headed toward World War III, boots on the ground, Russia giving weapons to Iran, China giving money to Iran, and starting another proxy war that we've got going on right now in Europe. We don't want that. Anybody who pays attention does not want war. They want to tone down the rhetoric. For some reason, the leftists are getting it right here with Israel for some reason, but they're getting it wrong with Ukraine. Like, come on, guys. You're anti-war, or aren't you? Let's tone down the rhetoric. Let's get everybody out of World War III, and let's move towards some sort of peace agreement. That's not going to happen with Iran, because Iran actually wants to blow some stuff up. So we've got to do something. In this case, Trump saw an easy win by saying, okay, Israel, I'll try to make a deal. I'll use you as leverage, and you're going to be the pit bulldog that, I'm holding you back. You don't make a deal, I'm going to let them go. And Trump let them go. Israel's doing what they want to do. We're supporting Israel, being like, man, I'm holding back as long as I could. My arm's weak now. I can't get him. You're going to have to deal with my boy now. So Israel's acting like America's pit bull and is going to town. That's what's happening, and we're letting it happen. Carlson, Bannon, Marjorie Taylor Greene all feel betrayed, pushing back against this direct intervention as a betrayal of Trump's 2024 campaign promises and the principles of America First movement. Yeah, whatever reason that Trump felt like we've got to do something, there was some sort of report that has happened between he was in office the first go around to now, because again, Biden allowed Iran to just go full wonk and do whatever they want for 4 years, with money coming in from China and weapons, as you can clearly see, coming in from Russia. Ballistic missiles says what? It's just gotten to a point where something needs to happen. Trump doesn't want to send anyone in. He lets his bulldog go tear up the centrifuges, and then now Trump's going to have to come in and clean stuff up. The question is, are we going to get back into country building? I sure as hell hope not. That is disgusting. I don't want us over there. It's too volatile. It puts too many lives at risk. I hope Trump sees that. Let the man cook, and we will see from it. I don't think Trump is going to ruin his legacy or ruin all the support he has from the majority of Americans, both left and right, who do not want to see American boots on the ground. He is a populist. He is an egotistical populist. He's not going to ruin his reputation. Let's give the man some rope, let him do what he's going to do, and trust that he loves himself enough not to ruin it. This is the one thing I don't like. Trump stated, no, my supporters are for me. My supporters are for me. Me. My supporters are America first. They make America great again. My supporters don't want to see Iran having a nuclear weapon. Yeah, we don't want to see Iran have a nuclear weapon because, again, they're the type of lunatic that would use it. The problem is we don't want boots on the ground, and I'm pretty sure Trump knows that. But what Trump needs to realize is that MAGA needs to become a symbol, not something of him by him, but a symbol of national pride, nationalism, and to move forward and continue on after he's gone. We got to love America again, folks. We can't be making decisions for people in Israel, here in America. We can't be making decisions about Ukrainians here in America. We need to make decisions about Americans here, not illegal immigrants, not Mexicans, not somebody from the third world. We need to make choices that benefit people here, our homeless here, our Americans here, our elderly here, our veterans here. We need to put Americans first, and it's a high time that we do it, because for too long, Americans been the doormat of the world. Sure, you guys know about yesterday. Powell pretty much did his stupid song and dance again and didn't lower rates. Powell hates Trump. This is a fact. His senior economic advisor, so directly works with Powell, stated carte blanche that Powell tried to hamstring, kneecap Trump's first-term economics. He tried to destroy the economy under Trump by keeping rates artificially high. That's a fact. That got caught on tape. Powell hates Trump. Powell is part of the elite. He's going to make decisions that make him and his little buddies feel good, and that includes continuing to hurt the economy if it hurts Trump's poll numbers. And that's what we see going on. Frankly, the rates should be cut right now. Inflation's low. It should continue to come on down as long as the dollar continues to strengthen. But in order for the dollar to strengthen, we need to lower the rates a little bit to get the economy supercharged and let it start running. Inflation will come back. If we do not start cutting this astronomical debt, it will come back. If we do not start rescission and start cutting the fat out of the budget, it will come back. This is a deadly game we're playing on a knife's edge, both in Ukraine, in Iran, and our own economy. We're on a knife's edge. And for people like Powell to play politics, it's disgusting. Well, KJ still doesn't know what a woman is. She's still clueless. She doesn't know what a woman is. But we love to see some good news. So I do have a wonderful, just blossoming story that is going to impact the U.S. for decades to come. The Supreme Court, in a major decision, upheld Tennessee's ban on gender-affirming care. Protect the kids, guys. You don't let them go get a tattoo. You don't let them drink alcohol. You don't let them drive a car. You don't let them enter into contracts. You don't let them cut their junk off. You don't let them sterilize themselves. It's that simple. Blocking them from using such as puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones for minors. Protect the kids. Leftists don't care about kids. John Roberts said in his majority opinion that courts should apply a less rigorous standard known as rational basis, aka common sense, under which states have to show that their law is rationally related to a state interest, aka protecting kids. Comes back to protecting kids, you leftist scum. Tennessee law forbids all medical treatments intended to allow a minor to identify with, live as, purportedly identity consistent to the minor sex, or treat purported discomfort or distress from a disagreement between the minor sex asserted identity. I said consistent, inconsistent, whatever. The point is that if a child believes that they're a bear, they can't go get surgery to make them more like a bear. If you want to pretend you're a toaster, you can't go stick your finger in a toaster oven and pretend that you're going to spit out toast. That's not how it works. You are who you are. No matter how much you want to pretend you're a toaster, no matter how many times you stick your finger in that socket, you're not going to spit out toast. But you will eventually fry yourself. The states could assert legitimate interest in shielding minors from risky procedures. Tennessee determined that administering puberty blockers or hormones to minors to treat gender dysphoria, gender identity disorder, or gender incongruence carries risks, including irreversible sterility, increased risk of disease and illness, and adverse psychological consequences. Yeah, buddy! That's right. Notice those words: gender dysphoria, gender identity disorder, or gender incongruence, aka mental disorders. The legislator found that minors lack the maturity to fully understand these consequences, that many individuals have expressed regret for undergoing such treatments as minors, and that the full effects of such treatments may yet be known. No. Sotomayor, crazy leftist, used strong language, writing, by retreating from meaningful judicial review exactly where it matters most, the court abandons transgender children and their families to political whims. In sadness, I dissent. What a horrible C-nut. She legitimately says for political whims. No, it's not political whims. We've always wanted to protect children. This transgender stuff is literally 5 seconds old, and you want them to castrate themselves. You're a horrible person. Go beat yourself. I mean, how much plainer can that be that this woman, is she a woman? I mean, are we allowed to call her a woman because she doesn't know what a woman is? Obviously, Sotomayor falls with KJ. They're nuts. Kagan is the only leftist Supreme Court judge. I don't even want to call her leftist. She is an extreme liberal. But she understands there has to be some sort of judicial reasoning that you put behind stuff. Sotomayor and KJ, they have no legitimate reason when they write their opinions. Again, read Sotomayor and KJ's opinions. They don't base anything in law. Kagan does. So Kagan leaves her name off of this statement. Sotomayor and Jackson instead, the court refuses to call a spade, obfuscates sex classification to allow state law to withstand constitutional scrutiny. So Kagan knows that women are women, men are men, and she's not going to put her name behind something calling spade a spade. Well, what's between your legs? Well, let's call a dick, shall we? Okay. Sotomayor presented a bleak outlook. Her dissent accused the majority of doing irrevocable damage to the Equal Protection Clause. No, it's reaffirming women are women and protecting women, and inviting legislatures to engage in discrimination by hiding blatant sex classifications in plain sight. You mean pointing out women are women? Again, these people have no logical reason, and you lefties are voting them. You're voting people that put these crazy, deranged people in charge of interpreting the Constitution, because they do not interpret the Constitution under an originalist lens. They convolute, twist the passage of the Constitution to fit their demonic views. Barrett, for the first time in her life getting something right, transgender status differed from race and sex in that it did not contain the same type of immutable characteristics as those two other categories. It's amazing. She will point out that sex is immutable, but she won't do that for race. Just absolutely nuts. She states it in her own opinion, but when the actual racial categories come up in the Constitution that discriminate people on race, she ignores the fact that race is immutable and allows racial laws to be in effect. Barrett, just go away. The plaintiffs acknowledge that some transgender individuals detransition later in life. In other words, they begin to identify again with the gender that corresponds with their biological sex. Yeah. So let the lefties cry. New York Times states the decision, which came amid the Trump administration's fierce assaults on transgender rights, was a bitter setback for opponents. Boo-hoo. The Associated Press, Supreme Court upholds a Tennessee ban on gender-affirming care for transgender minors in a huge setback for transgender rights. NBC, Supreme Court upholds a Tennessee law restricting gender transition care for minors, delivering a major blow to transgender rights. Notice what all of these state in the first sentence in these articles. It's almost like Project Mockingbird sent out the memo and then had to put a little disclaimer. Guys, don't use this verbiage verbatim. They're catching on. At least change the verbiage a little bit. So each of these say the exact same thing using different language to state literally almost with a little bit of synonyms here the exact same thing. It's hilarious. You see the deep state at work right here, all stating in lockstep. So welcome to Thursday, guys. Happy Thursday. See you tomorrow in the morning. Toodaloo.